Welcome to the Tech Talk today on plan production and sheeting. Oak, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, thank you, Patty. Um, okay. Um, so there's a lot of things to talk about um, uh, plans production and sheeting that I think just to save time, I'm just going to go through the highlights and not go through you know, the grudge there on the things, but point out some important things. So try to mimic some of the new folder structures that's in project wise and see where the files are. I think this is key to understanding where we are going to name the files, where we're going to put the files, and logistically how this all is working. And as you know, I mentioned earlier with Jason Moore, is this is not set in stone. This is something we're looking at to do, and this is the purpose of the Tech Talk is talk to the industry about what we're looking at to do and get inputs and some of you may or may not be aware of what we got going on. So if this the you've seen this before, I apologize and I try to not to give me too much of a hard time. Okay, so um, each project will have the, the normal um, folder for each unit there. So the pertinent ones that we're discussing about is this work set folder that sits at the unit level for each project. So the idea behind there is a common folder where we share, everything about the project. So the sheeting is one of them. So the goal for ORD is to share a common sheet borders and sheet clip area and match lines with every unit so they can use the same uh, match lines and clip area and sheets when they produce their sets of land. So that's the idea for this work set folder for each project. So in this project here, uh, plan sheet file POS. It's going to be name NCDOT because it's not just roadways. It's just, even though we're producing this, we're going to put the NCDOT here that's shared by everybody. So this PPL file or the plan profile layout file is it's the layout of your name boundary. That's the important file that, it's almost like if you look at your title sheet, the where each sheet goes. This is the layout, uh, but it's the name boundary where we place, here. So it, we're keeping that at the work set level or the project work set folder, not in row A. Okay, and that's shared by everybody. So it looks like this. Um, it's in your design file there. You reference all your, you know, uh, your topo files, your um, CMD file, your coordinate model file, your alignment files, your DSN, right away, DRN, whatever, property lines, property ties, or whatever you have that you want to show on your plan sheet. So you reference it in here and create your name boundary, which are these borders here. And you go through these two here, place name boundary, and um, the mode here is plan, civil plan, and you select the seed, drawing seed. Oh, oh, the drawing seed is in your workspace that we predetermine a lot of things, like if you choose plain only 50 scale here, this is set, the width and everything else is set for you. Uh, and the important thing here is, you know, you want to give it a name here of the sheet number. So my first sheet will be 4. I'll do 4 here. And and this should be prompting me for a alignment here. Oops. So when it prompts me for this alignment and I identify my center line here, it creates these. I got this selected here, and you really don't have any control over um, you know the actual name because it's uh, since you picked your name here for each name boundary, and then the group here name will be whatever your alignment is. It's going to automatically. So there's no point in entering your name here. So when you place a name boundary, you can uh, tell it where to start and see how far you want to create this. Wide office, African American female, the whole statewide okay. Office, Virginia. So once you create your name boundary, the second dialog that comes up after this is to create your own dialog box. Again, to save time, I'll show you the two. There's 3 things to look out with this dialog box when this appears. So the first thing to look out for is here we have the ability to do 1 sheet per DGN. So some state requires 1 DGN, 1 sheet. So we don't require that. So, but if you wanted to, you can have each DGN a sheet. Okay, that's the toggle you turn on. The other thing is the drawing model and the sheet model here. It says when we produce the drawing model for each of these name boundary here, where do you want to put them? So by default, it's in this file, in this PPL file. But starting, we really want you to put it in a separate file from the PPL. So we recommend putting it in the plan sheet file here, the PLS file here. That's going to put the drawing in your sheet in that PLS file here. Okay, this plan sheet file is NCDOT, so everybody's going to share this common sheet border here. That's the idea behind that. The other thing about plan sheet is this annotation group. This is where I'm asking you to pick your north arrow designation here. So you can pick whatever here based on this. Will put in the match line in the north arrow cell in the upper right corner of the sheet for you. Okay, so that's the 2 things here. I already did it here, so we'll go to that file here. So that is this file here. And in this file here, you can see if we pull up the models here, all the sheet models and the drawing models are here. So that's a sheet model. The gray triangle right here is the drawing model for that sheet. Okay. So remember I said this is the match line here and the north arrow there. This is, what the drawing model does on the plan here. Uh, Things to look out for here. I still can't get this text favorite to read the alignment, so manually you probably have to put this in so we can do that. But that's one thing to look out for there. And then, in the drawing model where this is annotated, you can move this anywhere you want. Say this was in the way or something, you could just, uh, move it anywhere, and it will reflect the sheet. See, so notice the first thing that comes up to new user about is, I have the numbers here. See, each sheet here is because I named it, the name boundary is respecting that name there. But the first question we get from users, how do I get the TIP number here? So the TIP number comes from your DGNWS. So if we locate our DGNWS or the workset, DGN workset file here, this training workset is in our workspace. So if we go to the 1010 workspace here, um, each unit will have their own training work set. So you expect to go to the discipline. So I'm an NCDOT roadway work sets here, and those are my work set that I use. So here's my DGNWS. So I can edit this file. I can open it just like any DGN file. DGNWS for the work set, DGNW work set file is just like any DGN file. So to get the TIP in there, you edit the DGNWS here, and under the file properties here, when this opens, okay. Go into properties, and for this file here, there's a work set properties here. Key in the TIP number here for the project number. Let's see, or let's see. Okay. So I can enter it here and save settings and exit out his files here. So the next time I go into the plan sheet file there, I should see the TIP number on the sheet. Yeah, I think it's a little bit slower to open and close when I'm sharing screen, but normally when I'm not sharing screen, it moves a little bit quicker. Okay, so now you see now my TIP number is on every one of these sheets now because I edit the DGNWS. So that's one, I guess, hidden or secret or something that uh, that people may or may not know how we use the DGNWS. So anytime you want the TIP number on your sheet, just edit that DGNWS. Okay. Uh, Now we talked about that. Now there in this, there's just drawings and sheet models in here. So if I want to say I chose the wrong north arrow designation here, I can go. Um, I can go back to in my drawing model here. I can remove annotation uh, from the drawing model here. So that takes care of the match line and the north arrow. And then I can re-annotate the model here. And from here, I can pick a different, north arrow, NAD designation. Um, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but normally you get the annotation to come up. Try this one more time before we move on to another. No, just this one. Yes. Well, it's supposed to annotate it. I'm not sure why it's not doing it, but that's where the annotation will come in, um, and you can re-annotate that with match line and so forth. So when this common uh, sheet file is created here, now it's time for us to customize this white space here. So each unit now, you can customize this area to make it look like what they uh, need it to look like for their plans production here. This is the title block, dynamic title block area that I'm worried about as a roadway user. This is shared by everybody. Okay, so the other file here, if you look at the folder structure, um, so those files are here, and now it's time to do my files in roadway. So in roadway, it's time for me to customize this. So I'll work in the sheets folder under roadway, and I have a couple of things here. I have the PE seal cell library for the project engineer, and if a firm had a logo here, JPEG here, I'll put it here too. So we have a roadway plan sheet, and there's something called a um, title block uh, border file, TBB file for that unit. So how do I create this title block border file here, and what does it contain? So you can go hit new here uh, and go to your unit folder sheets, and I'm gonna call it example. Oops. Okay. So in our workspace, in the roadway workspace here, you will grab a seed. Um, so 1010 workspace under the roadway standards, sheet borders. You have each unit can customize a seed file uh, for their title block. So ours is this here. This is from our workspace, and we're putting it in the work set. Okay, as part of the project. So that is my seed. I'm gonna hit save here. So what this contains is just that title block area here. So we uh, we have different layouts of the title block area here. So you have the basic one here. There's project with the right-of-way number here. There's the revision when you have construction revision, right-of-way revision, or whatever here. We have a note that says this is, you know, certified and signed and sealed by originally on this date and so forth. But here I'm doing a construction revision. I'm doing right-of-way revision and sealing it here. And then for some, you may need extra revision note areas because sometimes this revision note get full and then I need to put more revision notes down here. So here's the different 4 layouts that we do. And I'm just going to complete first one to see how I get the CO and logo and everything else in here. So notice first thing is I want to do my county. So this is just editable text. You can edit what county you have here. And then on the workspace here, pull up the cell of the county here. So if you go in, there's a roadway counties cells here. In this cell library here, there's the state. There's every county here. The anchor point is downtown Raleigh. So I just put an arbitrary point here. That's your anchor point. So this is Wake County. I'm going to go down to Wake County. And the second column here is the division number, if that helps any. So Wake, like I said, the anchor is downtown Raleigh. So center that. So that's Wake County. So Union County, I don't know where that is, but if you center that, that's Union County and so forth. So that's how you do the location map, I guess, where the county of this project exists. The seal block here, again, this is only one place you change this, and the title block is applied to every sheet. So the goal here is you do the change once, and um, it's applied to every sheet. So I'm going to attach that cell library there. Jason Moore. Place that, here. And that's my seal block. And notice here I have, if the plans was prepared by the firm and they want to put their logo in here, I just want you to copy this. See this red dot here? That's the anchor point. Copy that and place it at the end of this line here. Okay. So you have a JPEG of your company logo. I'll just go to raster manager here. File, attach raster, and pull up the JPEG right here, right where I was selecting. And you want to do place interactively here. Make sure that's checked on. And click OK, attach to this, and then just highlight the JPEG. you can move this, center it, so forth. So that's how you place your company logo on plan sheet, and then again, you can do this for every one of these layout for roadway. Say you have 4 layouts option here. So you do that for every one of these, for whatever meets your case. Okay. So I already have that completed here. As you can see in this TBB file here. So all that is completed for me. Okay. So once I have the title block here, I'm ready to create a roadway sheet. And that's the sheet I'm gonna use for printing, sheet indexing, and so forth. And all it's doing is combining this sheet with the NCDOT sheet that we share with everybody. The common sheet plus the custom title block sheet. Mix up this sheet. So exactly how do we do that? We'll create a new file here. In roadway, it'll be a RDYPSL PLS, but I'm going to say example here. And make sure my seed here is the right seed. Yeah, so under seed here, you notice there's several seed here, and people have questions. I wouldn't say confused, but have questions with what's the intent of all these seeds here. So the intent of some of these seed here is this one is the project seed. It just contains sheets. So I think it has 10 sheets in this file. That's 22 by 34. There's one sheet here, 22 by 34, 11 by 17. There's a drawing sheet seed, and there's also a design in 3 sheets. The purpose of this, I see this as when you do your title sheets, your typical section, your summary in DGN format. So you would need a design model where you have where you place your title sheet, and then you have 3 sheets that you reference to your design to, and print them out and apply the sheet index to. So that's what the purpose of all these seed sheets and design models and drawing model seeds are. So this one, I want this one. I want the English sheets, 10 sheets, 22 by 34 sheets in here as my seed. Hit save here. And notice in this file here, you look at the model here, it's already named, start out with 4, go to 5, 6, and so forth. So there's 10 sheets here. And you can look at the properties of every one that is keying off. It's a sheet model, size, and important things here is the sheet number here, sequence and sheet number. Okay, so every one of these will have those properties. Like the 5th sheet will have this sequence and this number. So going to my sheet 4 here, the idea here is, remember, to combine the two, my title block and my common sheet that I share with all units here. So I'll go to reference here, attach the title block for this work set here, And I can do coincident world here, which is fine. And that gives me my title block area here. Now I'm go to the NCDOT workset folder, grab that sheet here, and I want to do interactive here because I want to choose the model. So here is where I choose the sheet. So I want in that file, this sheet L4. Here is the scaling. Is all sheets are 1:1, so I'm change this to 1:1. And you want to do live nesting of depth of 5 here. I found out I tried all combination and 5 seems to get it all with the minimum. Um, because each file is referenced to another file and then reference to another file and another file. You got 5 tiers here that I need to reference back to get all of it in. And the only thing that we didn't notice earlier until now is this: when you're in the sheet and you reference everything down to 1:1, you want to have this off. Make sure to have this off, or all your custom line style is going to be solid. So turn that off there and click OK. And voila, you got your sheet there. So you keep on, you know, you go to the next sheet and build sheet 5, sheet 6, sheet 7 the same way. Notice here, question came up is say, well, what happened if your project changed? Say, well, this project for some reason requires a construction revision. So how easy is it for me to change this title block layout? Since it's referenced here, this title block here, um, just select the model. Remember, we have 4 different layouts here. So say we want to do this with the right of way and revision seal here. Okay, and that's just an easy switch. So I could switch this layout to whatever my project needs are just by changing the reference file. Now, while doing this, I can say, well, instead of me going to sheet 5 to the next sheet here and start doing this again, can I just not copy this and then call it 6 and then just, go into my reference here, sheet 6, and just, well, I want sheet 6 or sheet 5 here, It's just easy as that. I mean, it's the 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 thing to note in your sheet is everything's 1:1, and also it's not geo-reference. It's not geographically correct. Everything's at 0:0 here. So that's why I can just go to my reference dialog box and change the sheet. Uh, you know, Based on the model, I can change the sheet 8 or whatever here. You know, uh, it's all in one place. So yeah, I can build just the first one and then copy that model. I can go up here and says, copy model here and call it 6 or 7, 8, and and just change the reference model for my common sheet here. The reference. So that's a way for me to customize my title block. I could see like location survey would have a seal block for their survey seal here and whatever. They may not want to do the state location, whatever. They have that option. And traffic control plans and so forth, they requires their own title block. This is the area where each unit can customize the layout to make it look like what they need to look like. Okay. Um, so that's plan sheet. So the profile sheet kind of works in similar manner. Uh, in your work set folder here, we have the same layout file here. The only thing different about the profiles, you got to have the profile view up to create the sheet here. Um, Again, I just use whatever, when I create the name boundary here for my profile, I use the group, the plan sheet group here. So whatever station limits here, I apply the same station limit down here when I did the name boundary. And under profile view here, I could do select a drawing seed, like dual 50 scale. um, and from plan group L here. So on my plan view here, I have a group called L. Uh, you know, give the same station limit here for my sheet on my profile sheets here. And once that is done, I just hit, you know, I don't need to do that because I already have it placed here. So the once the group that I create here is created, I just want to show you the dialog box here. So there's nothing really to so I can begin, 14 as my next sheet. Uh, this is already set, so you don't have to choose anything. All this is coming from the seed, the drawing seed, so I don't have to do anything extra. Uh, but here again, you do want to put it in a different file from your PPL. So my profile sheet, I'm going to put it in uh, the profile sheet here. Uh, Here's to create, and here's the one that's if you had a file that's already there. So I'm going to create one file, work set, profile sheet. Okay. And English. Yes, fine. Same thing here. I'll put the sheet in there, that same file here. I don't want to place select it. Okay. So again, you don't have to do anything else. Everything's already set according to your drawing sheet. And then it's going to create the drawing in. Okay, it's done. So same thing here. All you have is drawing in sheets here. Um, I can rename that. Sometimes this is work. Sometimes it doesn't. Uh, so remember, we do a properties here in your sheet. Oh, I found out too that the first time you're in here, it doesn't want to show you the properties. Sometimes you got to get in and out of it and come back into it, and it shows you the property of the sheets and drawing. I should have chose the So yeah, same thing here with the title and the sheet number here. Let's see if I can pull this up. If not, here it is. So right here, I guess. Right there. So yeah, so if this doesn't work, just go to your properties of your sheet model and change it, the sheet number there. If you had accidentally do something else with it. Uh, all right. So you get your uh, strip grade here with the proposed and existing elevation, your normal here. And one thing to look out for, just like your match line, I can't get the alignment name to work in here. So you need to go to your drawing model here and edit that. Some people type in the whole road or just the alignment name. You know, it's up to you. Oh, not it. Again, these because it is annotated in the drawing model, you can move it anywhere you want and so forth. Some of the labels here, I don't know why this is a bad. Uh, in the next release of ORD 10.10.20, there you won't have a sheet that doesn't have the grade not labeled there. This is just carried over from this version here. So there, you know, that's you get your annotations and everything else here, um, and so forth. So that's profile sheets, and you do the same thing. Get your title block and everything else. Go back to the roadway folder and do your sheets there. Okay? This is the common sheet that everybody's here. Now cross section sheets. So the last thing I want to talk about is the cross section sheet. Um, and I'm not sure if there's any value of uh, putting the cross section layout in the sheets in the work set folder. If they are, we can put it there, but right now it's in row A, just row A cross section. So I have this XPL with a cross section port layout file here. Just like the PPL, we have the cross section layout file here. So in this layout file here, you have the corridor, your um, existing terrain boundary, your corridor alignments, and you must have your 3D view up when you're doing cross section sheets. So you got to have the design model and your 3D view up when you do your cross-section sheet. So plans production, place name boundary, cross-section mode, silver cross-section. And I'm gonna do a 10 scale of this alignment here. Start with sheet 1. From here to there. Everything else looks fine. See, when I click it the second time, you notice this the name boundary appears in the 3D. That's why you have this 3D up. It's like a slice of the model there. I kind of made it transparent for you to depict that slice. You don't have to do anything here because everything's already set. And, I do want to give this another name here. So this is going to be cross-section sheets, row A sheets. The file type would be XSS, cross-section sheet. And then I'll probably say this for Y11. See here. The rule of thumb is, you don't want to have more than 50 sheets into a DGN because it slows everything down. And there it goes. Should have did less. I just want to get the bridge, some part of the bridge, so it shows up in the bridge too. And just to point out, all these are referenced. CMD files are referenced. They're not part of this XPL file. The only thing in this XPL file that is active is these name boundaries. Okay. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, something's off centered there. I need to go back and look at it. But you can see your cross section annotated. This is wrong. That you shouldn't see the material here. It didn't. This is all should be wireframe. Not sure what happened in the labeling there, but it here again you can fix that sheet number here. I'm not sure what happened here, but the scale is in the each one of these cross-section sheets now too. I'll take a look at what's going on with this. But that's pretty much it for the cross. Notice you don't have a title block. So that's why we say, it's only row A that we're concerned about. But if other units say, hey, we need your cross-section layout on your sheets there in the workset folder, and there's a good reason for it, we'll put it there. But right now it's just in row A's. Okay, so 7 minutes left. Any questions?
Yeah, there was a couple questions in the chat box.
Okay.
See. Sorry, I'm going back up to look at those. I guess the first question is, these sheet borders, these are NCDOT sheet borders. These aren't Bentley standard sheet borders.
Right. Yeah, they're sheet borders that's by everybody in
Yeah.
at NCDOT.
Do you plan to add seal blocks to the sheets, or do we need to manually add those? I guess, let's see.
That's what we have. I think that's
Okay.
Yeah, he answered that, Patty.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 4 layouts. Each of those layout for roadway has seal block areas.
And Oak, just to make sure we clarify one point, when you revise one sheet separate from the rest of the plans, you can apply that different layout to that one sheet and not affect the rest of the sheets, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So somebody asked, I guess, if you have separate grades left and right and you want to see them on the same sheet, so that you want to see them on the same sheet. She might have been asking that question while you were doing something, because I'm not sure.
Like what was it called, Dean? Bifurcated profiles or something?
Yeah, bifurcated left side and right side, independent.
Yeah. So right now, top of my head, there's 2 options. You can show them simultaneously, or you can show them individually. Like northbound lane, southbound lane.
And can you also project profiles to a center line?
Profile to center line. Make it active, or what? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if they're talking about maybe an offset profile, I guess. Yeah, and because I think your center line's going to cut where you are. I guess we used to be able to offset if you were 23 feet over from the center line, cut the ground cross section. But I think your alignment automatically cutting where you are.
Yeah, so cross section, yeah, you do have that offset based on the seed there. So if we go back to our layout here, and when you did the name boundary, there's a left and right offset here.
Okay. Can we use different sheet styles, or are we going to have to use those sheets? Can we use our current sheets, or?
If you do the drawing, the drawing sheet here, so if you pick any of this drawing sheet, it's going to use the new sheet border. Now, for projects in SS2, yeah, you need to use the old sheet border to complete it.
Okay.
But the the procedure is very different from V8 to ORD, and it's not apples to apple when you do, it's not as easy as just, well, I'm taking this cell out and putting this cell in this place. It's a lot more. There's scaling and there's sheet models that we didn't have in V8. There's drawing models and so forth. So the procedure is very different in ORD than V8. That it's not an easy apple to apple comparison.
And how about interchange detail sheets or bigger sheets?
Did Brian Caldwell put that?
No, that wasn't Brian Caldwell, but
I did not do that.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we are talking about that. Yes.
Okay.
We do have a firm. Our standard is to put the 100 scale sheet in there, but if you want to put 50 scale interchange detail sheet, we'll provide you that procedure too
Okay.
as an option.
So that's not going away. It's not like that's a new policy that we're not doing those anymore. So that's staying. Okay.
If it was up to me, it would go away, but it's not up to me. But yeah, we talked about it. I think we spent most of this week talking about it. I think we are going to offer that still as an option. 50 scale interchange detail sheets.
I wish I knew how to do one of those surveys. I would love to poll our group here to see how they interpret the scale of what an interchange sheet should be. That was kind of the crux of our discussion all this week. Is it a 50 scale sheet or is it a 100 scale sheet?
Yeah. And that interchange detail sheet is an odd size paper. It's 34 by 62 inch.
Yeah. Okay. The question was asked, how would you annotate right of way or utilities using the automatic annotation? That might not, I don't know if that's a
It
good
would,
question.
yeah, yes. We tried experimenting with the point event list, and when we did it, Chuck Lawson says, well, you probably need to solve this with the civil labeler. So I'm thinking it won't be automatic, it'll be done through the civil labeler. This guy here. So I create something called right away, right away marker or something. Here.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Is the center line existing elevation annotation and for each cross section?
Right now it's not.
Okay.
So you have this, I want to say the strip grade, but no, that's in profile. We talked about it. We can add a point, I guess, in the template says go to the existing ground and report this elevation, I guess, but I think that's a little bit more than we wanted to. Everything proposed is annotated. Every vertex, finish grade, subgrade are annotated. You can see this XC file here, XS file here. It's very. Sometimes people say it was over. It's over. It's too much. But you can see every one of these vertex is annotated with offset and elevation.
Mm-hmm. So it's not, you don't need it as a reference anymore.
Yeah.
Point. Okay. Are the sheet C definitions and called, are the sheet C defined and called from the organizational levels or the workspace?
So organization level, they're all here for the DOT, but you may have other units have their own drawing sheet, but under NCDOT here and DG and library sheet Cs, they're all here.
Okay. If I wanted to add something, a seal or a comment to all the sheets, where do I add it?
The perfect place would be the title block border file. That's the custom file that you make the change once there, and everything else. This file here. So notice here I put a seal. I only put the seal here once, and I just reference this onto the sheets there. So anything custom you want to do just put in this TBB file.
Okay. Are you having some issues where the cross-section annotations going outside of the grid on each cross-section? Is there an
Yeah,
easy way to
so
fix this from happening?
Yeah, there's certain things we can increase the vertical, the top and bottom part of that name boundary, I guess. So if we look at the layout here, so your drawing sheet here, when you place the name boundary cross section here, there's a clearance, top and bottom clearance here that we set according to seed. If we find that most of these annotations are falling, above or below the name boundary here, we could increase that. Or, the other thing is, remember, this is all in the drawing first. So if I go to my XSS file here, if I find that, I didn't like something about the border, maybe here's one right here that's close. What is that? 1100, that's close right here. I can go to the drawing for that and just move this guy. You do your editing or whatever you need to, but I foresee sometime, I gotta look at all these weird annotations too. But sometimes, I'm thinking about building a custom silver labeler. So you notice in the silver labeler about here, there's a space for cross sections. So I might add a silver labeler. Said you may want not do a vertical. You may want to do horizontal label of the offset and elevation. I'll give you that option here as part of the silver labeler, and delete the one that you don't like or the one that's going out here. So if you make edits here, you can make edits to your drawing here. And it's been a while since I played with the, where is my extend command in MicroStation? These guys. But anyway, I can, take this, extend this out or whatever, move it or whatever. And then I'll go back to my cross section. See, you see that's been moved up. So any edit you can do into drawing to reflect your sheet. But like I said, in the future, I might create a silver labeler, and you can do that, label, delete this, and put anything you want in this place. If you find one or two labels that's outside there, but if you find a whole bunch of them, then it's a problem of the clearance here. So we need to increase the clearance some.
Okay. Someone just asked a question, how or where are the different size sheet seeds set up? Example, the 22 by 34, 24 by 36.
Yeah, it's part of the definition in our workspace here. So under the NCDOT seed, here. So this is where we set the inside this file here. We set the definition for a 11 by 17 or 22 by 34, or you could just pick these individual ones.
Okay. But if you have an odd size sheet, or you need to create one?
Yeah, you could. Well, you probably need to ask your admin. Go ahead, create one here for you to be included with the standard, because we have NCD and NCB in this sheet here. If you need to create a custom one, you know, it only takes effect for that, for your side, but if you want to apply it for everybody, you may want to ask your admin to do that for you.
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, right now we're at a little bit after 1. Oak, I appreciate you sticking around and answering these questions. If anybody has some more questions, feel free to put them in the chat or raise your hand. We are still recording this, and I think Oak will probably stick around a little bit longer if anybody has more questions, but we appreciate everybody joining us today. We will be looking to have this posted, the recording posted on our website by the end of the week. And I know we still owe a lot of people some PDH credits. We hope to have those done fairly soon and back out to everybody. So just be patient with us. And so with that, I guess our next NCLUG talk, I think we're looking at doing something on ProjectWise and SharePoint on November 16th. That hasn't been posted yet, so but that should be coming out soon, hopefully. But we do have December 1st. I think Oak's going to come back and talk about plotting these sheets and some of that setup.
Yeah, we'll show. Yeah, we'll dive right into sheet indexing, printing, and PDF creation, because the continue of this is how do we index the sheets now that we have them. And how do we organize it, like iPlot organizer or print organizer, and create PDF out of them.
Yep. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And of course, anytime if you have any questions or comments, feel free to send them to us at events, events@nclug.com. We value your feedback, and anybody interested in sitting in on the board and help planning some of these sessions, we'd love to have you join us. Just shoot us an email if you're interested. With that, I thank everybody, and if there's any questions or comments, you could still, I guess, stick around and ask those of Oak. But Oak, we really appreciate y'all and DOT taking the time to do this presentation for us.
Yeah, I hope you guys find this informative. Sometimes we sit in the back of a room and just come up with ideas and just doesn't make sense to people until we just, you know, show what we're thinking. And like I said before in the beginning, this is nothing set in stone. This is something we're looking at to do. It's a way, it's not the only way. So we're looking for inputs from you guys too on this.
Great. Okay, well, it doesn't look like there's any additional questions.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I'll be here about 5 minutes or whatever, just to shoot the breeze for anybody who want to talk.
okay, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Hello.
Yep.
Go back to the where you're referencing the sheets into the seed file where you're creating your sheets. You're copying in the NCDOT.
Oh, yeah.
Into the roadway sheets.
Okay, the roadway sheets.
So first of all, we're going to create the base sheets for everyone to use, all the different disciplines, and then we're just going to reference those into the roadway or hydraulic or whoever uses them.
Yeah. So the idea is
just to reference the sheet in there, so the drawing model's not coming along with it. It's just the sheet.
Yeah, it's just the sheets, because we're just interested in sheets.
So the drawing model we're going to put in the DSN file to do like labeling and things for roadway or whichever discipline.
Well, there's two things now. The drawing model creates the clip area from the design model.
Right.
Now the DSN file is a design model where you put your annotations in.
Right.
It's like your text files or whatever, label files.
That's gonna be your label file.
Yeah.
See, only thing the things they show you on Bentley, that's a little different. So anybody's doing any Bentley training, that's a difference because they're doing their labeling in the drawing model. It's not a big deal. It's just something that's different. And there's going to be a lot of differences if you're in different states. So
Yeah.
everybody's
Like I
approaching
said,
it a little differently.
It is. It's title block area. You know, it's something, you know, I came up with. It's just nothing
Oh, I think that's a good
standard.
idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I like that.
I know it's probably maybe a faster way to do this, but the idea here is customize this area to what meets your business.
Right. And you can update every sheet. So if you got 100
Yeah.
sheets, that really saves you a lot of time on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now so in this PLS file, plan sheet file, there's only plan sheets in here, nothing else.
Yeah. Well, there's
Well, like
yeah, there's only the plan sheet for that unit.
and not the drawing. Yeah, not the drawing. Okay.
No, we're not interested in the drawing too much on there.
Okay, that's just fun. Just say if you normally do because back when you did the original one for NCDOT, the base ones, it has the drawing and the plan sheet in there. So that's just a little that's just a difference.
Yeah.
In the NCDOT layout and then your roadway sheets, it's not going to have that drawing model in there.
Well,
I just want to point that out in the module. That.
Yeah. Also note this is all 1-to-1.
Oh yeah.
All sheets model 1-to-1, and look at the origin point there of this cell. It's 0, 0. So that's 0, 0. It's not geo-reference, according to correct.
Yeah, because the other training you do, like in Bentley or whatever, when you create a set of plan sheets, when you get done, you have the plan sheet and the drawing model in the same file. So I won't make that. I won't point that out in the module that hey, the plan sheet and the drawing model is in the NCDOT base, and then in your roadway you just have the plan sheets.
Yeah.
So they don't go looking for it, or they don't know why it's not in. Because I know they know it because you reference it in. So I mean, I know they're going to understand that because you reference it into the pre-laid out plan sheets.
Right. You wrote roadway sheets, the one with the RDY in here,
Right.
in the name here, contains the combination of the
The two
NCDOT and then the title block.
Right.
So each unit I can see creating their own title block, how they want to look, and just add their spin to it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, it's a great idea. I just want to make sure I convey that in the module. That's.
Yeah.
Because now if somebody goes in there, now if any department goes there and updates the NCDOT layout, it shows up on every department. Because those two files are just referenced, the plan and the border. So.
Well, I question, does anybody have any value in putting the cross-section layout and the cross-section sheets in the work set folder, or is just something roadway needs? So if, for instance, if Hydro say, I want to cut cross-section here and here,
right.
Do they need that access to the layout, or do they want to create their own, or I'm not sure what usage may come out of it.
Oak, how would insets be dealt with on plan sheets like this?
So yeah, it's like your manual process, like for your title sheets and stuff, because it's not to a certain scale. So it's something you draw in your design model, and then you create a fence or a clip area of that, and then scale it down to your sheet. It says move this reference file because all this is just reference. Here, I can move that anywhere. I can do move. So, so the inset, you can do scale it, and move it anywhere on the sheet, pretty much.
Thank you.
Yep. So what you guys think? Is it doable or is it bad idea? It's going to be doomed before we get started.
Well, that's what we're going to put down, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other thing, they ought to know there are grips on those sheet boundaries, so you can match line the Y lines and stuff of that nature like that. I think most people are aware of that.
Yeah,
So if you want to match line the Y line going across there,
yeah,
which this will be an
the ultimate goal is always to share this border, this match line with other units here.
Other units.
And if say, location says, I don't need to see your DSN file or something. He can go in here, make his own sheet here. It'd be a location survey, right away sheet or whatever. Go to this tree of reference file here. And it says, well, I don't care about the DSN or the DRN or whatever here. Just go in here, turn it off. And just turn off here.
You used to be able to like right click in the sheet and turn certain levels off and stuff. Can you still do something of that nature?
Yeah. So you can turn the file, you still can do a level. Yeah.
That's not changed.
So you want to turn on like this.
No, sometimes like pipe elevations and things like that.
Yeah.
Off by element. So
Sometimes the levels don't always get turned off, but you have to make sure they get turned off in the sheet. And sometimes, at least with 10.10, it's a lot better in 10.9. 10.9, sometimes you turn them off, get out of the file, come back in, then we go right back on. You have to remember, you have to actually go back and turn them off in the layout too, which is, they fixed that.
Do you have to save, you used to have to save settings to hold it? Do you have to do that, or is that automatic now?
I would say automatic. Save setting doesn't hurt, but
I
already have it. Like when I exited the file, I'll automatically compress it with my preference in save settings. So in my user preference here, I have this check on all the time to make sure everything doesn't crash, or save setting on exit, and also compress file on exit.
And usually we don't save settings on exit just because other people get in there and just tinkering with the file,
Yeah, it depends, but mine, anytime I exit a file, I just want to save settings. I just don't want to hit the save setting. But it depends on how you work. Yeah.
Okay, I was the same way. I always wanted to save settings and everything before you exit. And I was always wondering why that was not like set up specifically, but I guess, you have to do it in your preference, but why that wasn't a default. But I guess what Patty just mentioned is that other people get in there and monkey around, then it's going to save what they were doing or how they had something set up.
Right. That's
so in that case, I just do a read only. I can open the file as read only, right? You can do that. You could just.
That's generally how I do it. If I'm just going to check stuff and don't need it, I open it read only.
Yeah, there's a.
People forget.
Somewhere in here is a read only, and I know we have a desktop icon for read only too, but you can open the file read only somewhere. right
Somebody
there.
just asked the question, how much flexibility will there be for plan production with the reviewer preference type comments?
So that is a good question because most of the stuff is set in the workspace. So there's very little deviation, I guess, like your annotation groups, the formatting, the text styles, and everything, levels, and everything else. It's all controlled through the workspace. So there's very little room to deviate from the standard there. But that just help consistency in the plan.
Somebody asked, is the border sheet referenced to scale or 1-to-1?
One to one.
It's actually, no, I got warned that we don't reference the border. We place the cell on the drawing sheet. So what that means is in the drawing sheet here, let me open up a drawing sheet.
That's why you have that border. I mean, that's why you have the border on the side as a reference file, because you don't reference the border sheet. It's placed in the file.
Yeah, it's the sheet is 1-to-1, so the border is 1-to-1.
Right.
Let me see. Let me go to this workspace.
But the only way to change the border is like you're doing. Reference that title block information in there, so you can change it on all the sheets.
So this is what the drawing sheet looks like, and the drawing sheet has multiple models, and the sheet model here. This is where we place the border. So this sheet is 22 by 34. The border is this right here.
I remember the old way of doing things. We used to place the borders in cell.
Yeah.
That's gone away. That's part of what they're asking.
Yeah, maybe.
And then you added the cell. You added the cell to update, the sheet border.
Yeah, and suppose I created a title sheet and I just want to print it. I don't want to go through this mess of, say I have a title sheet here. I just want to put a title sheet here, put a cell here, and then print it. Create my title sheet here. There's no sheet that the user go in here. Here he's just he's gonna put his cell there. He's just gonna put a fence here and apply that. Where's the sheet component to this workflow? So what we want to do is change that workflow a little bit. Says, okay, you have this titles block or title sheet here, or the typical section sheet or summary sheet in DGN format here. Put a fence in here, and reference this onto a sheet. So you may have a sheet in this module here, call it 1 or 1B or 1A and so forth, 2C, 2D, whatever. And reference your design to that sheet and scale up or down that you need to put in that sheet. And now you have a sheet with that design or that cell in it. And then you can apply it from there. The advantage of doing it on the sheet is now you can index it, and we'll go to that sheet index next time we meet. Now, because this is a sheet model and not a design model, I can categorize it in a sheet index format, and the whole project sheet stuff is all there for you. So that's important of making that little change. Now that you have your design, normally in V8 we stop there. You say, I have my design, I have my title sheet already placed here. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna just print it out, put a, a fist on it and print it out. Yeah. But we want you to take that extra step and say, well, you have your design here, reference that into a sheet.
Mhm.
That way it takes care of a lot of other stuff.
Right.
Somebody
How
asked if
much
you
the-
could show how to get to the sheets again. Sorry, go ahead, John.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to ask Oak, how much of the information, say on a title sheet where utilities uses a different type title sheet layout than what roadway would do, as far as the items being placed on that sheet, how much would be usable from one to the other? In other words, if roadway already has their preliminary plans, functional plans, whatever, and they send us, normally we would just take their sheet off, add our sheet and some information, so a lot of the data remains. How much of that data will transfer over to our sheets?
Yeah, we probably need to discuss to you on, what we put on there and what you guys need.
Okay.
Like what the other units may need or may not need from what we put in there. So it makes it easy for you to turn it off or, take it out.
Makes sense. Sorry,
But they would
Patty, I
have
was
to,
kind of talking
no,
over you.
but you would have to have access to all the design files too, because now the sheet's just referencing those files.
Well, remember, we share that. So
Yeah.
we share that.
Yeah.
If we share the sheet, layout and everything else, anybody have access to, to add a new file to show, or,
Mhm.
they always have the option, like I said, turn off files or turn off levels on their sheets because the layout, they're using the same layout. Something about getting to a sheet. What was that?
How you get to the sheets again?
Drawing seed or what?
Are you looking at the clip boundary or drawing seed?
Gary, you can unmute yourself if you want to ask the
Yeah,
question.
that's it. There's sheets in the sheet index, or sheets in the models. Or
You know how you go to the, how did you get to where the sheets are at? I guess you might say, you got your drawing all ready to go and you're ready to plot it out or ready to put it on a sheet. What's the first
Okay.
thing you do?
So
How do you get to the sheets?
Yeah, so we remember those seed files I mentioned earlier. We create a new file here in our workspace.
Okay, now that's what okay, hang on. Where are you at? Okay.
On the workspace.
Yeah.
Workspace and NCDOT, seed, and then sheets. And this is where, this one has 10 sheets here. I can use that, this is a seed. So I create a file, call it what I want to, but I use these as a seed.
What do you mean it has 10 sheets?
So this DGN file has 10 sheets in it.
Blank sheets.
Yeah, blank sheets. So
okay.
That you reference the layout sheets into the base sheets. I guess that's a fair.
So in other words, if you have a lot of cross sections, you can
That's
use
plan
that one.
sheets. That's just plan sheets.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, plan sheets. If you have like a long road and you have several plan sheets, then you would use that one.
Yeah, 10 sheets.
Yeah.
You can add more, or
Like I say, you can just copy. Yeah, you can copy and add more. That's just,
Okay. So the 10 is just the base.
Yeah,
but
it's the
you can
number.
add.
Yeah.
But you said it's usually, is there a limited number? Because you said before it starts to get bogged down.
Cross section sheets. We found out that anything over 50 sheets, it will, cause very slowness in your opening and closing the file.
About 90 will take you down.
Yeah.
90 sheets. Yeah, you do 90 sheets, it will not run. Period.
Well, add to the fact that you also have the drawing model in the same DG file. So
Right.
each sheet may have 3 drawings. So you're talking about 150 sheet, 150 models.
Model.
So that's just a, it's not set in stone now. It's not written down there. But we just found the more sheets you add to the DGN, the slower it gets.
And 1010
So-
does speed it up a little bit more, but it's still slow.
So what's the current recommendation for that if you happen to have more than those number of
Yeah,
sheets?
so
To
I
break
would
it in like
just-
a part 1 and 2 or something? Or-
Yeah, so I would say, remember when I did my name boundary, I could tell it what station range, and I can break it up to the groups there. I can do, L1, L2, L3, L4 if I need to. And then when I create, this drawing the sheet, I say go to this for this group, for this set of group, go to this DGN, for this set of group, go to this DGN, and I will name it, XSS L, 1. Probably put station ranges on there,
Mhm.
or sheet number, or whatever that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
In the file name, so that it makes it clear to what's in each file, each DGN.
It's kind of arbitrary to your machine and your equipment you have, because you just kind of have to run the sheets and see where, well, I say crash, but what's most efficient. It may be 40 or 45 for your
Yeah.
instance. You just have to kind of break it up to where it doesn't take so long to print them.
How do you know if your machine has been upgraded to a 1010 or a 10,
Yeah, a couple of ways. The fastest way is if you go under your start there in Open Rows signer, you should see 2021 release 1. That's 1010. There. Or you could just right mouse click on any DGN file.
You can go to the help too over there and about if you happen to be in.
You also need your 1010 workspaces loaded too, Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to first have 1010 installed, then install your workspace.
And the installation of that's still pretty much limited, correct? On 1010?
Limited as in
Limited to just the CAD coordinators and not, or is everybody now able to get 1010?
CAD coordinators and tests, people on the test, doing the tests. I think Hydro is waiting for the 101020 for their upgrades for the drainage and utility stuff. But not everybody has 1010. It's just CAD coordinators and the test people.
That was my point. There's some people that are going to go looking for it now and say they don't have it and they need it, but they're not in that bracket yet that might require.
And the thing to point out, I'm glad you brought that up, is this has been a bug, a problem to so many people. You notice when I right click and do open with here, I only have a choice to open up with 2021 release 1010. I can do, search another app and do 10.9, but it's still gonna launch 1010, Yep. So it's really a bummer for some. All these GNs are gonna. The only way to get around this is to use the desktop icon. So in your desktop
project, same way with project-wise, you have to make sure you right-click and open with.
Yeah. So
because it uses the most update version.
Yeah. So I want to do 1010. I use this icon. I want to do 10.9. I use this icon. That's the only way to get around that for now. You can't do it open with. It's always going to open with the last version that was installed.
That's
And
correct.
are you creating the 1010 icon, or is that loaded
Yeah,
as
that
part of
came.
it?
Yeah, that came as part of the workspace. If you go under configuration workspaces, Carolina desk, you'll see that 1010 icon there.
Okay.
Just grab these two and put it on your desktop. It should be fine.
And then you would just erase the other ones, right? Or delete the other ones, right?
You can leave it there. This, I still use this if I need to prompt project-wise. We have a backdoor, I call it a backdoor method to go into project-wise, and this prompts for what, Bentley LMS and project-wise and everything else. I can go grab the file in project-wise with this icon and work off my C drive on my workspace. So I'm not using project-wise managed workspace with this. Even though the files are stored in project-wise, I'm using the non-managed workspace on my C drive. That's what I call the backdoor method. But if you use this, it doesn't prompt anything project-wise. It skips, bypass the project-wise prompt altogether.
Oak, will you pull that path up again that you did to get to 1010? I want to capture that on screen.
The app to get
The what you just used to get to 1010 to get that icon.
this here.
Okay, yep. I just want to capture it so I know to look for it. Got it. Thank you. There was a question asked earlier about the cross sections, and you went in to cover the 75 split. But I think the real question was in on how we used to have to modify and shift, like if we had a detour on one side and we wanted to have the cross sections offset, so we would exaggerate one side. That's still doable, correct?
Yes, yes it
Okay.
is. So it'll be under your layout file here, XPL file, and when you do the name boundary here, you have a left and right offset here, right there.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, because we've used that quite a bit when we're investigating stuff where we have power lines way out in the right of way or outside where we're going to have to get some PUE. It helps us to cut more cross sections or have more idea of what's going on outside those limits, and we can shift it and just run a temporary one to see what's out there.
Yeah.
And you may only want to shift like 4 of them. I mean,
yeah,
the
it's
detour, I
sometimes
guess.
it's just a few, sometimes it's a whole
Right.
row, and it may be just trying to figure out what the elevation or the ground elevation where a pole might be or some kind of service line or any kind of utility that's coming down, like say paralleling a river or creek that we're crossing. We want to kind of get a little bit better scope of what the flow, what that area is.
See, this the new item type things that we're investigating. See how we can do the each payment layer here and put the pay item numbers and compute the tonnage and everything else.
Yep.
All from pay item.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, item types. So that's something on the horizon to look out for. Is we automated quantities and item types and reports and stuff. AWP. So again, you get this for free when you do your corridor model. You don't do anything extra. It automatically computes the quantities. Anything else, guys?
I think we're good.
Okay.
I've been still recording, so I'll
Like there
stop
was a
recording now.
one understand something about scaling the sheet up, but everything the sheets, the sheets are all 1-to-1 now, so it's all 50 scale.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you can, if you have a drawing that's small, the 50's too big, but how can you know that you got a 10 or something without having to keep going in and keep saying, okay, no, it's too big. Then you go back out, and then you go back and get another one.
Yeah. He has a 20 scale seed, I know. There's a 20, 50, and 100. You need a 10, I guess, can make you a 10.
Well, a lot of times the title sheets are odd size.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are.
He has I got them listed, yeah. You got a 20 scale, and 50 scale, and 100 scale.
See, now we use a lot of 30 and 40 too. How would you do that?
Yeah, we probably have to set you up one. The other way, you can pick one here and then start modifying things, start modifying the limits here.
Can you scale down, like when you pull it up? Is there a way to scale it down?
Yeah, you can, once you pick the drawing seed, you can change any of these. The drawing seed just,
Right.
Just,
I just set your defaults.
Yeah, set your default at first, and then you can change any of this. Here.
Okay. I appreciate that, Oak.
Yeah, I mean, you probably want a default, so he could go in and set those defaults and save it to a seed.
Yeah, if you find that you're needing that a lot, you probably ask admin or something that says, I need this drawing seed at this scale, because I find myself doing this a lot.
Save some time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
Yep. All right, guys. Any
Thanks.
no more questions? We'll grab lunch.
Yep.
Grab lunch.
Thanks, Oak.
Thanks,
Great
everybody.
job.
Thanks, Oak. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Oak.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you, Oak. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right. Bye.